Ahoy gamers and welcome back to Path of Exile 2 as we attempt to play through the game as a hardcore solo self-found, but with a twist, only use the gamble merchant. From the disasters of the last episode where we lost our rake bleed warrior, we decided to make a sorceress. We make our way through Act 1, taking on the Rust King, taking on Brambleghast, taking on the Druid, make our way to the cemetery where we unlock the Hooded One after defeating both Asinia and Draven and Lachlan. So without further ado, let's jump on in. And ahoy, we are back in Path of Exile 2 as we play through as a hardcore solo self-found using only the gamble merchant. So I think it was either last week or the week before, we lost our best character. We got all the way to Act 3, which is really impressive. We're going to be going again. This time I'm playing as a sorceress, as you can see here. I don't know what, very rarely, if ever, I played a sorceress on Path of Exile 1 or 2, so I don't really know where we're going to go down with this. But we're going to focus on survivability, so we want to go down a lot of this. Maximum energy shield, kind of shield regeneration rate, and we're going to focus on our gear to do a lot of the damage, but we will see how that goes. Main thing about us being a sorceress is that we will not be using Vol Pact, which means we can use Life Leech, but we can use Life Flasks. The one change you're going to be doing in this challenge now is allowing me to use Life Flasks. So if I find flasks, I'm only able to buy the flasks from Una or any of the shops that sell the flask. I won't be able to pick any flasks up off the floor. So although it's not gambling, because you can't gamble flasks, I can at least get new ones. So this is the only weapon I'm going to allow myself to use, is the initial weapon to start off, just so I can get my first attack. Otherwise this is just a very difficult start and I will die a lot of times. I have tried this before, doing this melee only on a number of classes. It's almost impossible doing this beginning part melee only. You might be able to do it if you have a group of friends. I know you can't even team up. Yeah, I'd say it's probably impossible doing this melee only, the starting area. So it's going to be ideally sorceress. Today's video, we just want to get through Act 1. So I'll be jumping in a lot more often than normal because I want to show all the difficult fights. If I get into a really difficult position, I'm going to jump back in. Hopefully, this sorcerer can make our way through. Ideally, because I've still got a bit of money for my last character. Hopefully, we can do a bit of farming. So as soon as we get into town, I'm going to skip until we get to, it's not Hillock, but we're going to skip until we get to the first boss. But from there, we'll just be jumping in more often. And here we go. Here's the first boss. And we have leveled up once. We put our first skill point into 10% more shield, which obviously only gives us 10 shield, which is better than nothing. And I think we're going to focus on definitely on more of the defensive side of things rather than the offensive. Definitely want to make sure you roll almost on time, because if you roll too early, you won't dodge it. And there goes, more of his minions are out. There you go, like that. You miss it just like that. And we just want to keep moving as much as you can. Here, Spark's okay, I guess. It'll be good to clear out all this chaff. There we go, now you can take out the miller. And definitely want to dodge that. A little bit too late that time. Okay, let's try and take out some of these undead. Yeah, back to the miller. And he's going to do his ground pound. There he goes down. Awesome. Take out all these extra mobs. And anything that drops here, we can definitely sell. And as we get into town, we're going to do our first shopping spree. There we go. So, if you do try this, Mr. What's his name? Finn won't be here when you first do this if you've made a brand new character on a new server or a new league. So you just, to unlock Finn, you have to get quite far through the game. So I want to go for Fireball first. So Fireball, Spark, that's going to be our rotation. Drop a Fireball, do Spark for it. First thing we want to do, actually, if you hold down Alt and left click, you automatically open the shop, which is useful. There we go, sell all of this, sell the staff as well. Perfect, so we want to get ourselves, normally I like to go for a wand, but we're going to go for a staff. Okay, it requires us to be level 3, that's very good. Loads of extra fire damage, but once again, we're not level 3, but that should be fine. So we're going to go for just energy shield for the time being. If I can get ideally a better one of those, that'd be good. Fire resistance, we're going to go for one more. Fire resistance, a bit of thorns. Yeah, that'll do. And we'll get ourselves a helmet, boots, and these. Oh, good boots. That anything with extra evasion is useful. And I think we've got a bit of money. We can get ourselves. Obviously, we need to get ourselves a belt. A good belt. This one. Mana, physical thorns. Let's see if we can roll another belt. There we go. Mana, lightning resistance. Yeah, there we go. I tend to try and roll these until I get a rare of some sort. Let's get ourselves one amulet here. Mana regeneration, max mana. Okay, we go for you. Then we've got just enough to buy mana gained, physical. Mana gained per kill is useful. Now we just have to wait till we have enough money until we level up to be able to use this, which is good. Let's go talk to Una to give us another quest. Perfect. And I think we are just good to go. Going through my stash. I think this was one of these stashes. This was the stash I was using for my last character. So I'd allow myself to reuse this currency. I think they're within these are just my hardcore characters. Stash number 3 is my hardcore solo self and gamble only. So I'm going to allow myself to use these. Everything else in the other stashes are just there really. Right, we're going to go take on some of these mobs. You'll see when you're running around this area, you'll see a load of these witches, which we will point them out when we see one. Where are you? These witches just up here. So this game has a lot of synergy. So if you're fighting any mobs, you definitely want to put down a... So you've got this here. Firewall. Ignites your projectiles as it goes through. And these counts as projectiles. So if you do a lot of skills have synergy. So if you drop a firewall and you use the spark for it, makes these sparks just stronger. And then here, one of these side quests just here. Everyone wasn't punching them, that'd be great. Awesome. An uncut skill gem. I don't think we need anything at the moment. Nova's useful, so we'll put Nova down. Nova tends to be my panic skill. So I have played a sorceress before, but I've only ever gotten to about halfway through the act. I think I may have even tried to take on the act boss, but I can't remember. Because the act boss is quite tough for... I tend to find it's quite tough for lighter armoured classes. And we're just going to keep running around. You see those witches that we fought early on. There's just one of them we fought so far. I'll quickly show you one of their mechanics. If you're a low level, or you've just started out, you've got no gear, you have nothing on you. There's these witches. Where are you? There's a boss just up there on the left. You can tell when you get close to the boss because it will start speaking. Okay, just want to find a witch. There's a witch, a vile hag. It'll drop one of these curses on the floor. Keep away from that. You've got limited... you don't have very much gear. Or you're... for whatever reason you have low health. Get out of those circles. They can one-shot you. Really tough. I've learned from my last character dying, anything that's on any form of AoE or anything that's around you that looks like it can hurt you, it probably will hurt you. There's something you can do here. Is this boss here. You can go from this boss and into the Grellwood. They're very close to one another. They're normally in the same kind of trajectory, so you can always just run into the Grellwood, run out, fight this boss. It's quite a good way to level up early doors. But we're not going to do that just yet. We want to level up ourselves to level 3 first. So we're going to go to the burrow, take on the burrower, and we'll see you when we get there. And here we are. So here's the burrower. The Devourer, not the Burrower. He is a Burrower, but he's obviously called Devourer. So we leveled up, so now level 3. We now have our staff equipped. So our Flame Firebolt is a very strong single target attack. So I can just keep spamming this when I can. Make sure he goes through my firewall. Want to avoid his damage. So while in this fight, you definitely want to avoid his tail if you can. If you're a slightly weaker character, his tail will start appearing. I think it's around 50% health. There it is. You can attack the tail. Not sure if it does anything. Okay, looks like you can't attack the tail. Never mind. Ignore my last. But as easy as that. You just keep attacking the Devourer. Avoid his poison. Easy fight. GG. There you go. A load of items there we can go sell. Once again, I'm allowing myself to use any currencies that drop. So let's level up Firewall. And now we're going to jump back in when we go take on the Witch, which is within this area, which is Clearfell. And here is the Witch. And so we're just going to hold down left click on her, drop the odd firewall. We did give ourselves a support gem on our fire attack, which is this support gem just here, which control destruction, do a little bit more damage, but we can't crit, which is fine by me. And I'm allowing myself to use these quest items. So we're going to make our way to the next map, which is normally over here on the right hand side. There we are. So if you're struggling for gear on a normal character, before you want to head further, because the next couple of maps, the difficulty does quite quickly ramp up as a new player. If you can keep coming in and out, hold down control and click on the map, you can open a new instance. Just load straight back into the previous map. And then, as I said, just down here on the left hand side, you'll hear her talk. There you go, she's just spoken, which means she is here. I know she's here anyway, and you can take her on. You can keep farming her for ages. This, as a gamble only character, this is a relatively good place to start farming early on. Just for gear. Just to sell, that is, until you get to the best spot in Act 1, which I will point out when we get there. And now we're going to head into the Grellwood. So we want to put another point into... Ooh, faster... I think faster shield regenerate is probably the way forward. So we can try and get that shield back up as soon as possible. Right, here we are. You'll see now in the latest seasons, we've got Delwyn here. This will start a hunt, which you just follow the mystical character, which is this deer here. As he runs through, you just follow this, and it touches a load of mobs. Every mob it touches will just become stronger. So this one will give him the spirit of the stag, or stag touch. You can see it just underneath the health bar at the top. And this will, if you keep following this, this will take you to a rare mob, which will be white snarl now. And it'll connect itself to the mob, just making it stronger, and it will cause the animal to appear. When the animal appears, you can do different things, like the touch of the boar will spawn a big wave of boars to attack you. Very annoying. So I was saying we'll probably get to all the way to Act 1. I think that we'll make our way to the farming spot of Act 1 and unlock the Hooded Man. So that's just after the cemetery. So that's where we're going to get to today. I think that'd be the intention. I'm probably going to stop picking up non-magical items, because they don't really sell for very much. To be honest, we actually have okay-ish gear to get us going. I'm not too fussed about every single mob here, so we're going to run around. We want to take out Brambleweed, the boss in this area. And I always just search the edge of the map. And I keep an eye out on kind of any points of interest on the minimap. You can see how much damage this staff is already doing. It's really good. We got very lucky with our increased fire damage. Just going to quickly reset my gear, and we'll jump back into Grellwood. You'll see on the map this weird looking tentacle fleshy area. This will be, is it Bramblewood, Bramble something? Brambleghast. So this is where this boss spawns. It's quite tough, just keep away from anything that's purple, chaos looking. Just keep moving side to side as much as you can. There you go, he is stunned. Should be able to take him out. Boom, there we go. Just activate all of these. Nice and easy. And we're going to level up our spark. Although we're not using spark very much at the moment, we're focusing on firebolt. So there's a few things in this map you want to look out for. You've got Brambleghast, which is just taken care of. The Tree of Souls, which is the main story quest. You've got Forgotten Witch and the Witch's Hut. Forgotten Witch and the Witch's Hut are both the same thing. But what I tend to do when I'm farming through here, or running through here, is I just ignore most of this and go straight into the Red Vow like this. Because Red Vow is a dead end. This is the only place you can go to. It doesn't go anywhere else. Unlock here. And this is the main story quest. You have to get some rust items and fight the Rust King, who is the boss in this area. So you find these checkpoints. Checkpoints allow you to click on these obelisks of rust, which is just down here. You click on this, load of enemies will spawn, you take them out and it gives you an item. So you can see them all starting to spawn here. And just want to slowly take them all down. Fireball's definitely not the way forward here, but it's one shot in them, so I don't really mind. Drop a fireball. See if Spark will do some good damage. Okay, Spark's okay, I guess. I do prefer just holding down my left click and killing everyone with my fireball. There we go, there's the first one taken care of. And let's continue making our way up here. Try and regenerate our shield as soon as possible. So regenerating your shield counts as almost a... For a light armoured class, it's essentially the same as having life regeneration. So the quicker you can get your shield back up, the quicker you can take damage again. So I'm going to find the other two obelisks, and then we'll jump back in when we get to the Ruskin. And that is level... whatever level I am now. Level 6. Got ourselves pure energy here. Got the last obelisk here. So this will spawn the Ruskin. And he's quite a fun fight, to be honest. Probably one of my favourite fights in Act 1. So he'll always try and want to melee you, just keep trying to walk away. He'll do one attack like this, just keep away from those swords that will shoot out from him. He'll do, when he says for the clans, he'll spawn a load of mobs. This attack, he just attacks in front of him, just try and keep behind him if you can. And he will say interloper again, he will spawn a load of swords, just keep away from the swords. He's got a big attack in a second. That's one of the big attacks, but not the main one. Here we go, that's the big attack. He has a charge up version of that, which he'll raise his hand and a load of kind of spears will spawn above him. Those spears will then land down in front of him, doing loads of damage. I'm just going to avoid these swords. And he's about to go down. There you go, that's the big attack. And just like that. Nice and easy. And we've got some more items here. Some skill gems. Now we've got all of those items, all of the rust stuff. I can use a skill gem, fine. Ember Fusillade, that's quite a good one to have. So we're going to buy that. Equip you. Thank you much. I think that's going to be useful on here. There we go. Awesome. So now we can turn this into this. And all this does, spawns a load of these balls. And when I come towards an enemy, it will fire them out. Really useful. And I can charge it before I get into combat. I can charge a load of these and they should attack different enemies. Yeah, they do. Good. Very good skill. When you get back to town, talk to Renly once you have all those items. And there you go. Rune spikes. So I have used these. Got what orbs they are. But use these orbs of augmentation to augment all of our items. We've got mana kill, got life regen, lightning resistance, and we've got intelligence on there. So it's quite useful, very useful. Salted orb you can go into here. Awesome. So I can make all these items into rares. So I'll probably do that on the spear, on the staff. That's a very good one to have into a rare. So I've got loads of these regal orbs. Going to turn this into a rare as well. More evasion. Okay, that's fine, I guess. That's really, yeah. Let's turn these boots into a rare. More mana. And we'll probably do one more. Do we want the ring? No, we want a better ring than that. Right, we're going to go back into the Star of Red Vale. So we've got the waypoint for it. Then we're going to head back into the Grellwood. It's just behind us. Hopefully we were quick enough and the map's not reset. Let's have a look. Good, we were quick enough. So we know where Bramblegast was. We need to look for the tree. We need to look... Don't really care too much about the witch, but we can try and find the witch if we can. And once we've found those, nice and easy, we can then make our way through the act. And here we are. So we've made our way to the tree. We took out the witch to the north, and we found the Grim Tangle. So kind of got ahead of ourselves already. This does allow us, as soon as we free the hooded one, and then go back to town, speak to Una, and then we can continue through this act. And so far so good. I'm quite enjoying this. Quite enjoy the sorceress as a character. It's quite a strong character, to be honest. I have no idea what the elite specs. I'm thinking of Guild Wars 2. no idea what the ascendancy specializations are, but we'll find out at some point. I don't know what ones are good, what ones are bad, but into the Grim Tangle. I'll quickly show you what the Grim Tangle is all about. So we have got the Druid in this area. The Druid's quite tough, to be quite honest. I'm not looking forward to fighting him. So also when you fight the witch will drop these two flasks. If you equip them straight away, you put yourself at a detriment. And the witch has killed me in the past because I equipped the potion straight away. As soon as you equip new potions, you lose all your charges. Talking of potions and charges, we do want to pick up some new potions sometime soon. And we did get ourselves a new skill gem that dropped. And a new skill gem I put into a support gem gave us fast forward. So the speed at which these orbs fire now is a lot quicker. So as soon as I finish using all my summoning all the orbs, it essentially fires, not instantly, but it fires a lot quicker. Then obviously I could spam spark at the same time. Really, this is the best skill for... I think we probably put that there. Then put Ember Fusillade on E. Because it is the best skill against bosses, at least in this early game. But my normal fireball skill is actually very good against... I can say groups of mobs, but small groups of mobs. My best thing against groups of mobs is Flame War and Spark. And we're just going to keep searching around. We're looking for the Druid, and we're looking for the way out. So here's the Druid. I'm always worried about the Druid, because he's quite a tough fight. And I have lost a good number of characters to this guy. We should be okay. Just avoid as much of his damage as you can. This is the big one. If he shoots any of those gold nuggets at you, this means the floor is going to attack you. Okay, he's almost stunned. That little mark on the floor, if he does that, means that if you're within that circular mark, he will teleport you into this middle fungus area. Okay, so I want to try and hit him again. Where did he go? He's gone up there. Okay, definitely want to get out of that because that is a very dangerous skill. Should be good to kill him in a second. There we go. That was quite close, but we managed it. But that was very close, a bit too close. I would say. And is there any of these we want to level up? Because I wouldn't mind something like brutality, but obviously I don't think it actually adds very much to these. I'm not sure. Oh, Zenith is not bad. It does more damage while I'm above 90% of my mana. Where if I'm going to use my fireball, I should be above 90% mana because it's my main attack. Right, let's make our way into the graveyard, being the next map. And another support gem, that's nice. These will probably just go into my bank, to be honest. I don't need all my skills upgraded at the moment. And this is not really going to plan, but that's fine. I want to take out this artillery guy over here. There he goes down, perfect. These doggos are very annoying. These artillery guys are also very annoying. So when we get into the cemetery, there's a few things. We will unlock our money maker for essentially Act 1 and Act 2. I don't think it makes enough in Act 3 for the Gamble Merchant to be viable. Because the amount you have to spend in Act 3 to use anything in the Gamble Merchant, each item's about 3,000 to 4,000 gold. And each run of my money maker is about 400 to 500 gold per run. So realistically, you have to do the run obviously 10 to 15 times to get any money, to get enough money. It's not viable for just one piece of armor. Yeah, it's just not worth it. Here we are in the graveyard. Thank you very much. So we want to get through this gate here and fight the boss in there, and then we'll end today's episode. Reason why I want to get in there is because that will allow us to unlock the hooded one, the hooded man, and then that will also then allow me to do a bit of farming off camera. Because then the reason why you want to get the hooded man is you get the ability to identify your gear without spending any money. So I identify it for you for free. You have to be very careful in the graveyard because it obviously has the area just there. One second, just have a look at this. Mana regeneration cast speed. I think cast speed is probably the way forward. The quicker we can cast, the higher our DPS because we can just get more attacks off. Now, I think our damage is there already. Let's just melee all these down. Or not melee, just fireball. There you go, one last one, or a couple more. Do need to stop walking straight towards enemies. I'm not very tanky. At least for now. Yes, this area has couple things in it, couple points of interest. One is a couple sarcophaguses, where depending on what one you use, so I think you can only use one. It'll give you, it's always guaranteed to give you a ring, which is quite useful, I guess. Obviously, we can't use a ring, so. And then the other 2 points of interest are the actual crypts themselves. So you've got 2 bosses to get through that gate. You've got Draven and Lady Asinia, I think her name was. And you have to essentially beat both of them to be able to open that gate. One is harder than the other, considerably more harder than the other. Asinia is okay. I think Draven is the hard one. Because Asinia is just essentially just range. You just keep running away. Let's level up Flame War. Okay, the checkpoint's just there. So that's Draven's crypt there. So it's worth grabbing the straight into each crypt just to unlock the waypoint. And then once you've found the waypoint, you can then just leave. You can continue looking for the next crypt. There you go, Mausoleum of the Praetor. There you go, grab this one. So you've got both mausoleums here. Tomb of the Consort, Mausoleum of the Praetor. Mausoleum of the Praetor is the one you want because it has the Forgotten Riches, which is the way you make money. So we'll quickly pop out. And take on these Undertakers. Fine, nice and easy. Risen Rattlers, easy. And then once we found the other tomb and the point of interest in this area, we'll do a quick run to get money. So we do a quick Forgotten Riches run. And then I'll then probably do that until I get about 10,000 gold. So I think that should be enough gold for me to be able to one, rebuy all my gear. To make sure all my gear is kind of up to date. That will level me up a few times. I don't like to fight the bosses until I'm about level 11, level 12. Just for a bit of survivability. That should lead us in a really good position to be able to take on the bosses as well. At least the end act boss as well of the count. And nice and easy. Just hold down left click, everything dies. Here you go. Here's the other checkpoint. This is with the point of interest, which gives you a ring. Just find it on the map. Walk down here. Interact with one of these and get a Lazarus ring. Nice. And now let's look for the last tomb, which is probably in this direction. It's not in this direction at all. I just lied to you guys. I do apologise. And so this area is quite dangerous. Sometimes I have died in this map. Some of these mobs are quite strong. A lot of them, if your range are fine, they die relatively quickly. But you have some which have a very large pole on them. If you're not careful, they can do a lot of damage. And we have seen one since we've been here. It's annoying I didn't point it out. There's one with a huge kind of like stone pole. Avoid that stone pole. They'll slam it down the floor. If it hits you, it will do big damage. Big damage is bad. Big damage will probably kill you. There you go. It's more cast speed. I'm not sure whether I want to increase that. Get this one down here as well. Because it is raw power. Let's load into Museum of the Praetor. Mausoleum, not museum. And we'll quickly do a Forgotten Riches one. So you'll see as well that a lot of these mobs in here are quite difficult. You'll see that we will get a lot of experience from this. So we essentially start off with 0% of our way to our level. And we should probably finish this with about 25%, give or take. Depends how long it takes us to find the point of interest. These Eternal Knights are really annoying. While they've got their shield up and they're walking towards you, if you do any range or any damage onto the shield, it will shoot back a skull. The skull can do a fair bit of damage. And that's really the only mobs of interest or of note in these areas. There you go, so that's 15% already. I tend to find if you go straight to the edge of the map and just walk around the edge of the map, you're more likely to find what's it called? The Forgotten Riches, the money. The money. That's a Mr. Krabs quote. Right, there we go. So 26% of our way to the next level, which is really good. There's a checkpoint here, but this is a checkpoint for the boss. Grab that, just get replenishment of my... I haven't even used any potions, so I didn't really need it. You see, this one's taking a bit more time to find the Forgotten Riches, but we've got 28% of a level, which is quite nice. You can see farming to get into about 10,000 gold. There you go, here it is. Farming to about 10,000 gold, that's 30% of a level, is quite manageable. So while I'm getting 10,000 gold, I'm going to come down here, 4,100 gold. Grab all this gold in here. Yum, 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 yum. 1,400, so that was 310 odd gold. You tend to always get some form of rare from this. So we now got a rare. We can now head back to town, sell this, rinse and repeat. So for us to get 10,000 gold, we're going to have to do this another 10... about 15 times. 15 times, 20% of a level. Yeah, would easily get to about level 11, level 13. So we're going to do that. We'll jump back in when we get to 10,000 gold. And we do a quick shopping spree. So we are back. That is now 10,000 gold. Made our way to level 11. So here we've got ourselves practice signs, raw power, and make our way up to rapid recharge. And then we're going to grab ourselves dampening shield as well. And I don't know whether we want this. Mana blessing might be useful, but we may not get that. Yeah, okay, that's our first goal. Maybe we get these free. On that, let's get ourselves a quick shopping spree before we go and fight 3 bosses in quick succession. So I'm going to get ourselves 2 staves here. See if these are any good. Spell damage, no. Okay, I don't think we're going to get ourselves a better staff, and we're not going to try and roll until we get one. So we want to get ourselves maybe a better body armor. Buy ourselves 2 of these. So intelligence and thorns. Okay, that is better. So we can grab ourselves that. Perfect. Then let's move ourselves. Get ourselves a new helmet. Let's get ourselves 2 of these. Okay, that isn't as good. Let's buy 1 more. Why not? 1 more. Why not? And more mana shield. There we go. That'll do. Okay, let's get ourselves some gloves. Okay, they are rare gloves, which are nice. Nice to see. Life regen, max life, fire damage. Yeah, that's better. So I think the only thing we need now is ideally a rare body armor. We used one of the orbs to upgrade us to a rare, so we're just looking for maybe rare armor, rare helmet, and maybe a better ring, maybe. Fire resistance, max life. Okay, that'll do. That'll do for now. And then maybe let's get ourselves, spend the last of our money on... Okay, that is better. Max energy, increased energy shield, more life. I lose 10 intelligence, but that's fine. There's loads more of that. And then I'd like to get a helmet, but we should be strong enough now. So we're now going to make our way back to the... I'll just go through here, to be honest. And now we're going to try and find the boss of this area. I think this one should be Draven, and Draven's pretty tough, but he's not the hardest. So we are level 11, so this is normally where I'd want to come and fight these anyway. You can see that I've moved my skill gems around, so my left click attack, my firebolt cannot crit, but it can at least do a load of damage. So against these normal trash mobs, I'd rather do a load of damage than it critting anyway, so that's fine. Let's see if we can try and find Draven, take him out, and then we can move. There we go. Here he is. So heart of the mausoleum. He breaks into here. Here comes the big boy. So we want to get a load of these ready to go. You can only have so many of these out, but I don't know when he was going to be damageable. Okay, that was annoying. I got stuck in his attack swing there. So we want to try and stop his spirits from getting to him. He'll spawn Asinia, his wife. Just need to keep running because she'll do these sigils on the floor. And we can take a bit of damage here, that's fine. And as long as we grab these souls as they start appearing, should be okay. And he is almost stunned. I'm going to wait until Asinia does her magic. Grab these souls quickly. There we go. And it should stun him. There you go, he's stunned. Let's take him out. Perfect. There we go, that is the 1 of 2 down. Dropped a load of items here. That's great. And now we can go back to town. Quickly sort all this out. And we'll make our way to Assinia. And here we go. Let's go take on Assinia. Change my support gem down here. So control destructions now on my Ember Fusillade. Because I want this to be my main attack anyway. Let's get a few more of these out. And there we go. Hit a few times. Kind of roll out of this if we can. So yeah, she'll summon her love. And he'll jump down. He'll want to definitely get out of that. Draven's relatively easy to dodge, to be honest. Just want to keep out of her attacks. And then she'll keep calling him in. Just want to keep moving as much as you can. And just like that, she's down. Awesome. Right, let's go take on. Sort out our inventory again. And we'll see you at the next boss. Because the next boss, all we need to do is click on. Annoyingly, I don't have it. That's fine. We just have to click on the cemetery gate. And let's go open this memorial gate. Bonk. Straight on in. So, we should be good here. I think we should be okay. This guy can be quite difficult, actually. You definitely want to stay as ranged as possible if you're a ranged character. Unless you're somewhat tanky. So melee characters tend to struggle in this fight. Because, well, at least what I find is that if you get too close to this boss, he does loads of AoE attacks. You can start attacking him now. He'll hit the floor a couple times. We just want to try and avoid being near him because he will freeze the floor. Freezing the floor is bad. That attack's pretty bad. This is fine. There you go, do a little rage. Hit the floor a few times. And we want to try and get away from him as much as possible. And come on, he's almost down. Okay, definitely want to keep away from that. One more hit. Down he's gone. So we're going to grab all the loot he drops, because then we can heal up the hooded one. Amazing. So we're going to go through to the next zone. Grab the waypoint, which is we're going to use. This is a good stopping point for Act 1. So we're over halfway through. The next areas we get to go to are the... heading up here into Fawn, which is a relatively good area. Loads of places to grind for some experience. You get Crowbell, which gives us some more passive points. We've got this ritual, it's pretty cool. We've got some more passive points in the farmlands. And from here, if you built your character well enough, it should be kind of like a downward trajectory on difficulty. So we should be more than capable of getting our way through Act 1 now. Give everything to Una. Spawning Una will help in the hooded one. Allow us to identify our gear. Once our gear is identifiable, we can then obviously make more money because we don't have to spend money on our identification scrolls. Level up one of these. There you go. They're all talking to one another. You can just alt left click. Nope, control left click and you'll identify your gear, which is very useful. And Una, sell this junk. Perfect. I've been selling the rares rather than salvaging them or scavenging them or disenchanting them, whatever it's called, because I wanted the money. Especially on this character, I definitely want the money. So we've got a little bit of money here. Let's quickly see if we can buy ourselves new helmets. Buy ourselves one more. Any of these any good? That's life regen is quite nice. But no, we're going to keep what we've got. So we'll end this episode here. So we made our way halfway through Act 1. So hopefully next week or the week after, I think we're going to be back to Path of Exile 1 Brutal next week. But we'll slowly be making our way through this. And hopefully we can actually finish Act 1 on our solo self-found hardcore Gamble Merchant only. So have a wonderful week, everyone. And as per usual, we've got a couple links down below. We have 2 YouTube channels. One is to Mrs Rothmers YouTube channel, where she covers lore videos, stuff like Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones and Warhammer. We have a joint Warhammer channel, which is all about the tabletops, where we collect armies, battle, paint, some tutorials called Nerdy Miniatures, which is pretty cool. And then I've of course got a Discord down below if you want to join the community Discord. You're more than welcome. So have a wonderful day everyone, and as per usual, peace out.